So I think we wanted to talk about the scaling up of the fintech part of the UK economy, which I'm really excited about. My background is in fintech when I started out as a programmer in the financial services about 30 years ago. So it's nice to be here talking to you about the future of fintech. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we're doing, what we should celebrate, and where we should work on so that we can sort of grow from where we are to be all that we should be. So without further ado, and I was really excited as well. I've just come from earlier today, the London Stock Exchange, talking about 1,000 businesses to inspire Britain. And they talk about financial services obviously being very strong, and they've published 1,000 companies, of which 70 are fintech. So 7% of the jobs that are being created are specifically from just fintech companies, which is exciting. And obviously, we're talking earlier about a lot more to track. Personally, I've been involved with the Due Dil, TransferWise, Osper, Funding Circle, all of which are growing and show exactly how big the opportunity is if you approach it from a consumer's point of view, which again I think is something we should do. So things that I think we should really celebrate are how fast our financial services companies are scaling up, and I think that one of the reasons for that is because of the depth of talent that we have here in the UK. There are other industries which are having a problem scaling up because they can't beg, borrow, steal, inspire people from traditional industries. But we can do that here within fintech. So compared to other sectors, we actually have a jump on some of the other sectors. There has been a lot of progress. If I think 30 years ago when I was a programmer in financial services, it was a little bit stodgy, and it's far less stodgy. And the things that we can celebrate are the government and the regulators make it a very receptive area for us to grow our companies in. And that certainly worked extremely well for me over the last 20 years, which I'm deeply grateful about. But if I were to just turn to, very briefly, the things that we should work on in order to really keep, if not improve, our position in the world in terms of global fintech, rather than just a sector in the UK, I'd love to be the magnet for any company that's thinking fintech, that they should think of Britain, and I mean Britain, not just London, as the base to come to. So one is improving the skills in our schools. The financial literacy is really lower than it should be here in the UK, and if we were to focus, or the next government or governments were to focus on the skills in the schools, that would be brilliant. And I think one of the things that we can do as large and small businesses and growing businesses is think about what we can do for schools to help them improve their financial literacy. What role models do we have that are excellent for them to think about? And there's some amazing programs and pilots in the UK that help do just that. One of them, Code Club, which I think is an amazing organization, and there's Apps for Good, which does some coding, which again, coding and financial literacy are really, really important for our industry, because if we're not tech it and we're not math, what are we? Because it's, again, the whole basis. And both of those are very, very scalable and beautiful for a global company. The second thing that I think that we can do is improve the image of perhaps leaving from a large company and considering joining a growing company. And I said growing company or scale up. I didn't say small company or SME. If we could eradicate the word SME from our language, I would be very happy, because I don't think it's appropriate to talk about small companies when, in fact, 40% of our GDP is now from companies less than 15 years old, and 100% of our net jobs in the UK and across Europe are from companies less than 5 years old. So let's not talk SME, because the big companies are shrinking and the little ones are growing really fast, and that's an opportunity for all of us, but it's really an opportunity for our children and indeed our grandchildren. I think the other thing that we should talk about that would be very helpful is getting the business schools and the universities putting in place programs to help train the leaders of these super fast growing companies, average growth rate 100%, 200% per year, to help them keep the management wheels on their bus. I think that we should be better with visas. I think that we should, if it's a scale-up company, they should get an automatically, here you are, you can hire whoever you want, because we know that you're powering the economy, and I think that's really important. But most importantly of all, I think that we should release the data that we hold on which of these companies are the fast-growing ones, so that they can more easily attract the talent that they need and get the international global customers that they need. Because without exports, again, financial services, beautiful for exports, but if we raise and share who they are, then everybody will be able to see who they are, and we've got a real competitive advantage if we release the data rather than just, hold it close to our chests. So with that, let's talk about scale-ups, let's talk about data and the talent, which is the gnarliest problem of all. Thanks a lot.
Sherry, thank you very much.